Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Bright Founders Talk at Temi. Temi is an international software development company that designs, builds, and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. Welcome to a podcast where we bring you the most inspiring stories of entrepreneurs and experts in the software development industry. And each week, we interview successful leaders who share their unique journeys and valuable insights. I'm your host, Barry, and today we're lucky enough to have an amazing guest joining us, Tom Sosnoff, founder and CEO at Thinkorswim, Tasty, and, as of today, Lost Dog. So we've got lots to talk about, Tom. But firstly, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for coming. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. Sounds like you've got lots of exciting things going on in your life at the moment, and we are going to talk about them. But just for someone or anyone watching who doesn't actually know who you are, could you just give us a little bit of information about yourself?
I guess I would be best defined as a lifelong kind of trader junkie. I'm a markets junkie. I think that probably wraps up most of my 40, 44, 45-year career in the world of finance. So the first 20 years I spent as a market maker, one of those guys standing in the pits, pit trading. And the last 26 years I've spent building financial technology for traders. Lost Dog is a little bit different, but it's still a FinTech platform. So that's kind of been my life for, I just wrapped up, 45 years and
And you did it in great time as well. Was like trading and finance always in your blood? Is it a history in your family, or were you a bit of a novice when you first set out?
No, my mom was an art teacher for 60 years and my dad was a civil rights attorney. So no, there was no trading in my family. I got out of college in a period where there were not a lot of jobs, and I ended up the only interview I got was on Wall Street, and they offered me a job, so I took it, and I've been basically in the world of finance ever since. So,
And
yeah.
how about you've got loads of successful companies under your belt? Like, that's not something that you jump into lightly. What is it? What kind of personality do you have that makes you want to keep launching and running successful companies?
Well, I don't have any hobbies. I'm one of those very strange people that I don't know what to do with myself. If I have a day off, I don't know what to do with myself. On a 3-day weekend, I'm worthless. I literally don't have a hobby. So I build stuff, like, I'm not so sure that it might not be a good answer for everybody, but it's kind of what I do. It's just, I just build stuff.
So let's talk a little bit about your first company, like Thinkorswim. Why Thinkorswim? What was the problem that you were trying to solve?
Oh, I don't solve problems. One of the keys to success is only unsuccessful entrepreneurs try to solve problems. Successful entrepreneurs I've never tried to solve a problem in my life. I build stuff that I like, that I want to see, just some things I think are fun. I definitely don't want to solve any problems, but I had spent the prior 20 years, kind of learning about the trading business. And I just felt like, it was time to build something kind of cool in that world.
And with Tasty, what was your vision with that? It's obviously linked to your trading expertise.
Yeah, well, Thinkorswim we tried to change the world of derivatives by building some really cool technology. Because at the time, there was no such thing as cool technology in the derivative space for retail investors. And we did that. Tasty was a little different in that we tried to change financial media. So Tasty, we launched the first streaming site for digital finance. And so in 2010, 2011, we were the first firm, and we quickly became the largest digital financial network in the world. Because we decided to talk about math and strategy rather than, most business news or business media is always talking about fundamental stuff or macro stuff or technical stuff. And it's not our thing. So we decided to talk about the thing that everybody hates, math and quantitative stuff and statistics. We're all math geeks. And we ended up building a really, valuable network, it turned out in the end. We had no idea. We honestly had no idea what we were doing because we we were traders and software developers. We had never done media before, and everybody told us we were crazy, but we did it. It was fun, and so we liked it.
Well, they say craziness is equal parts genius. Would you agree with that?
There may be something to it. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. So why Lost Dog then? So now just today, literally today, you've launched this, and there was a press
Yes.
announcement.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about Lost Dog, just while we're here.
Well, first of all, I've been in the world of trading for, like I said, for 4.5 decades. So I finally was, our last company was bought out actually by a UK company in 2021. Tasty was bought by a company out of London called IG Group, and I stayed with IG for 4 years, honoring my contract, that kind of thing. But when I was able to leave, I just wanted to do something different, and uh, I wasn't going to build another trading platform, at least not right away. And so I decided to do something about worker fairness. And so Lost Dog was originally all about worker fairness, worker inequity, that kind of thing. And it's expanded a little bit now into also, worker optimization and portfolio optimization. It's a really slick, let's call it an AI platform for lack of
Mm.
something better, but it's a platform that's just helps consumers optimize their career value and their portfolio value.
And obviously, you have a lot of experience under your belt. What level of experience and what kind of skills have you developed during your trading career that have helped you in your current role as co-founders and CEO?
Oh, you mean like I'm just like you mean like thick skin type of you know
Maybe that's one of the things that helps, right?
I mean I mean one of the things I've developed is yeah, I'm pretty immune to pain. When you've had a lot of success, I think I've had, we built some other companies in the meantime. I've had like four different exits along in the last, 25 years. So we put ourselves in a position where financially, we can do things that other people can't do. I mean, not because we have this unbelievable ability to raise money or anything, just because, we've done well building these companies and going public and things like that. So we're in a position where we can kind of build whatever we want to build. And so I guess the answer to your question is, the freedom to be able to not have to answer to anybody and build whatever the hell you want to build is kind of cool.
Sounds amazing. And each time you've created a company, has the next company been easier to develop because of your insights, or does it not have that correlation?
It doesn't really have that correlation. Everything is kind of, I mean, you start to recognize certain things that, like you recognize a little bit about mistakes that you've made in the past and you try not to repeat them and things like that. But to be fair, every company, it has its own challenges. They're all difficult. Nothing is easy. Like you have to build something from scratch and make it successful, you basically have to kill yourself. You have to put it all out there every single time. There is no easy route. It feels like each time it's just as hard, but it's just as much fun.
And do you get bored? Like once you've reached a stage where the company is a success and you probably don't need to manage it as much, is that the point where you think, oh, now's the time to exit?
Yeah, it's tough. For us, it's been about 10 years. Well, Tasty was 14 years. Thinkorswim was 10 or 11 years. So I'm not really short term. I mean, I'm like, a decade or a little longer. But I'm getting older now, so I don't have another 15 years to play around with. But I think that so I'm not really short term. I try to give everything, a fair time, but I don't necessarily think it gets the time frame shortened or things get any easier.
Mm.
There's just less pressure because you don't have to maybe worry about raising money tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah. And you mentioned that as you get older and the time is ticking, is it something that just as you get older, you don't have the energy to do it, or is it something that you just lose interest in it because you've been successful in your life? What
No,
more
no,
is
no.
there to
I
achieve?
just I don't ever lose interest. I just, after you sell something, a lot of people like me that are very independent. We don't like really working for other people. That's one of the things. And I'm also, you know, like when we started Thinkorswim, we started with 7 people. When we sold it, we had 550. Like I don't like managing 550 people. When we started Tasty, I started with 6 people. When we sold it, we had 350. So I love 10, 12, 15 people in a room just building stuff. That's my favorite thing. So with Lost Dog now, we're back to 15 people and that's my favorite. Like that's where I like to work. So I don't want to be, I don't want a million people. I mean, I don't mind building it up, but I
Yeah.
love this part when you're
Yeah.
small.
So what excites you specifically about Lost Dog at the moment? Obviously, it's a new enterprise. What is it that's really exciting, captivating you?
Well, it's new. I think new stuff because people think like when you build something that you've got um this set vision and you're just trying to execute. And I don't think people realize that we really have no idea what we're building. Like, we're still throwing shit against the wall, hoping something sticks. And that's the most fun. Like we didn't know we had when we built Thinkorswim for 2 years. We didn't know we had when we built Tasty for 4 or 5 years. We don't know what we have right now at Lost Dog. I mean, I know I have a really solid foundation and a lot of smart people, but I don't know what I have. We'll see what this turns into, but I'm feeling like it's going to be something really cool. We'll see.
So I take it from your approach, you're kind of, and forgive me if I'm wrong, you're not really looking at the market and saying, where is the gap? You're doing what you want and
Oh
seeing
yeah.
if there's an audience for it. Is that right?
100. What I've learned is people. So I'm a challenger. What that means is that people love to be challenged, and very few people actually like to challenge people. They don't really see it as a business model. I believe in what we call it. I'm a goodwill businessman. So I will give you something and I will challenge you with whatever I give you. And I'm hoping that you give back by using whatever I built. That's my model. It's a little different than most other people. And so far, it's worked. Whether it can work again, we'll see. But I love to present challenges to individuals. I find that they rise to the occasion. And I feel like most people think that the way to success is to dumb everything down and I don't think that's the case. I like to build things that are really challenging and make people, I don't know, be interested in it. And we'll see.
And when you were setting up these companies, like how important was having connections, knowing the right people? Were you kind of a solo player, or were you like very much
Oh,
into
we're absolutely like the black sheep. I mean, nobody in the world of finance, nobody even talks to us. Like we probably built between Tasty and Thinkorswim two of the best technology platforms in the world for trading. They probably control 40% of the derivatives activity in the United States now. They're multi-billion-dollar businesses, and zero people in the industry will talk to us. So we're definitely not part of like some we're not part of some club, that is for sure. I mean, people respect us
Mm.
and people they definitely respect us and they definitely give us a lot of credit for stuff that we've done, but we're not included in anything.
You
We,
seem
we,
kind of you're kind of proud of that fact.
I love that fact. I
Yeah.
I I don't feel like I don't owe anybody any, you know what I mean? Like I can do my own thing. We have only raised money with, one private equity firm in 26 years. Like we don't even
Wow.
go outside very much, so we're pretty much self-contained.
I'm kind of curious then, like, how do you measure success? Like, what is success for you?
It's a legacy thing. So I don't care. I mean, the money's great, so, you create generational wealth. It's like, it's awesome. And my kids are, my kids' kids and their kids will be taken care of forever. So, that's kind of a really cool legacy to leave. But I want people to say, hey, he was a good entrepreneur. Hey, he was really good at building shit. That's it,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
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 the
kind of
legacy.
that's kind of a humble response to that question. It's I was expecting something grand. You seem to be very much against the wind, against the prevailing. Like, I've done like hundreds and hundreds of interviews.
Oh, I'm the a little bit like to consider myself the ultimate contrarian, but who knows?
Yeah. We'll see. And it's great that you are. It's nice to have that refreshing honesty because it makes it so much more invigorating to have these conversations with you. Um, when you're in the early stages of building these companies, how do you go about attracting customers, or do you attempt to attract customers? Like, what is the early stage game that you set out for?
Well, it's the hardest thing, I mean, everybody wants to click a switch that says click the virality switch. Like that would be the game plan, but it's incredibly hard. At Thinkorswim, when we first built it, we had no idea how we were going to acquire customers. And, we started off making partnership deals and I have been on the road promoting what we build, doing live events and talking to customers for 25 straight years.
Hmm.
Um, Basically every other weekend in some city somewhere in the world. So I'm a full-time promoter. Um, I have partners and that are more on the operational side, but I'm more on the promotion side. And so at Thinkorswim, we had to start from zero and we worked our way up to, a few 100,000 customers. I mean, millions of people downloaded our software, but actually funded accounts, probably a few 100,000. At Tasty, we did it in half the time with, more customers. So we've maybe like a half a million accounts and a few million people, you know, we had a billion views on our content network, things like that. So we did it through content, we did it through software, we did it through a lot of shaking hands and kissing babies. And Lost Dog, we're a little bit resting on our some of the people that we've met throughout those years. And hopefully there's a bunch of new people that come on and, learn about us for the first time. That's why I'm doing this podcast. I mean, I mean, I'm kind of, you know, I'm a little bit of a whore when it comes to, an opportunity to tell our story, but that's what I do.
Yes, and why not? And obviously, it's worked for you, so keep up the good work.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, listen, we try to just, like we're pretty down to earth as far as I think we are, at least, like about our story and our platforms. We tend not to charge for anything we've ever built. So our platforms are always free. And on this Lost Dog, I'm giving away $1 million in crypto for people that sign up. So I'm just being, just giving
oh,
stuff
there you
away.
go. There you go. So, how if people are interested in hearing that, they've heard that, and they want to bite, where do they go?
Just go to lostdog.com, LOSSDOG, and sign up. And, the problem is you got to be in the US to get the crypto. It's just a stupid rule from, regulatory, but you still get a free subscription if you sign up, and it's amazing. The technology is amazing.
I imagine, like, over your time, you've seen quite a number of changes, especially like pre-COVID, the dot-com boom. I'm quite old, so I'm 46, so I do remember some of those. Whilst I wasn't a participant necessarily, I
I mean,
remember
I
them
was trading
happening.
in the '87 crash, so I'm a lot
You've
older
seen it
than you.
all. Yeah.
I'm 68.
Oh, you don't look it. It's the stress of being a CEO that keeps you young, right? So I imagine you've seen quite a substantial change. How have these changes made engaging with customers easier, harder, or not necessarily easier, harder, just a different way?
Well, I think it's different. I mean, obviously, the harder part is it's gotten a lot more expensive to do things in person. So it's more challenging to do in-person events than it was, years ago.
Hmm.
I mean, we used to do, a 500 people in a theater, years ago. You could do it for, 10 or 15 grand. Now it's 50 or 60,
Yeah.
um, last year I did two tours through the UK and a bunch of European cities. And I mean, the cost is probably, to do 10 cities, probably $1 million. It's crazy.
Wow.
So it's just become very, very expensive to do live events. That's one of the changes. But the other side to it, digital has made things relatively inexpensive. in that sense. Social, digital, all those things are really helpful from a marketing standpoint. I'm a content marketer though, so mostly what I do is create content. So I built another network now. It's called One Lucky Dog, and we broadcast an hour a day. Right now, we'll probably go to 2 or 3 hours a day, later on. But right now, we're broadcasting an hour a day. We just answer questions, and it's a fun show. That's it, very light, and that's how I market.
It's incredible. So we've talked a lot about the kind of past, but what does the future hold for you? You have hinted like maybe there is a time limit on how long you want to keep going for. But in terms of like the near
Well,
future,
I don't have
like
control over that. That's an act of God, as we will say. That's how
I'm not
long
holding you responsible.
yeah, I can't be held responsible for that. That's how long my bones will hold up, my heart will hold up, things like that. Let's put it this way: I do not plan to slow down.
Okay.
Um, I moved our offices and our kind of like our whole headquarters and our work compound right by my house. I live in Chicago, in the city, so we have like a whole, have a whole area now where we have where we've moved everybody up to. So we're building a new headquarters, and I hope to, in a perfect world, I mean, Lost Dog is successful. We have lots of great partnerships. I really want to build a quantum firm
Oh
on
wow,
top
that's
of this.
amazing. Yeah.
And I have a lot of ideas about kind of some of the crazy things I still want to do. So in my mind, I'm not done. Hopefully,
Let's hope
hopefully,
your body agrees.
I hope my body agrees. I hope on a physical side. I mean, I'm trying to stay healthy, but I have some weaknesses.
Well, you are human after all, Tom, just like me. So what things are exciting for you? Are there things that coming up, maybe relation to AI, maybe other things that you're kind of thinking? You mentioned quantum there. That is obviously another exciting thing that's coming up. Is there anything in particular that's drawing your focus and gives you pause for the future, possibly concern or excitement?
I don't worry about the things that give me concern, because then you could just get, like then you just get hung up on stuff that I'll make it simple. I only focus on things I can control. So a lot of the things I have that would, or a lot of things that concern people are things that they can't control. And it drives me crazy when people worry about things that they can't control, because, okay, there's nothing you can do about it. So why are we even talking about this? Let's just, that's one of the reasons that a lot of people don't succeed, is they worry about things that just are outside of their control. I don't. I just focus on things that I think, we can do and make a difference with. I am fascinated by AI. I think that there's a very powerful, especially now remember, I'm a finance junkie, so I don't really go too far outside of out of my lane, because I, I like to stay where I think I have the domain knowledge, where I have the advantage over anybody else.
Hmm.
So I stay in the world of finance, and in the world of finance, I think there's a lot of upside to the integration of AI and software. And I find that our software needs are actually a lot more than I thought they would be relative to AI. So I'm kind of pretty bullish on all the things that we're going to be able to do with software and AI together. Um, so I think that that's going to be really cool. And now I'm outside of the regulatory world. So without the regulatory constraints, I think I can build some really cool stuff. We'll see.
Are there any things that are coming up that maybe you want to change, have a major impact, like things that are revolutionary, things that are going to change the market, things that are going to really shake things up? Is there anything like that that you can foresee coming up in the near future?
Well, I mean, if that's not easy, that's not easily predictable. We've been shaking up markets. I've been a disruptor in the retail market space for literally for, 3 decades. Um, and I think we've shaken up a lot of things. But never with the intent, quote, to shake up, just that's the way it happens. I don't know, we'll see. I think that some of the things that we're working on now with respect to worker fairness and letting people kind of know what they're worth so they can negotiate. There's in America, worse than probably any other country, the pay gap between executive pay and worker pay is just It's insane.
Hmm.
And the amount of money that the average worker leaves on the table over a lifetime, it could be millions of dollars. And most cases it is. And I think it's an education thing. And I think we can bridge that a little bit. And that's kind of what my goal is right now. I'm not trying to think too far beyond that.
Great answer. And unfortunately, Tom, the time has flown and we are coming towards the end of the podcast. But one question that I do want to ask you, since you've had all these successes with other companies, if there's someone watching this now, someone maybe in the early stages wanting to set up their own company, or they have a dream that they want to set up their own company, what is the best piece of advice that you could give them?
Go for it. I mean, a lot of times people are, if you think you have the know-how, just go for it. I think that a lot of times people, they overthink things. They overanalyze things. I think it's more of overthinking.
Hmm.
And, you get yourself crazy. We have a rule, myself and partners, we've always had a rule going back to our trading days. Every opportunity we have to take risk, we just do it. I don't give a crap what the outcome is, because if you do it enough, you'll get good at it and it usually works out. So all I tell like my own kids and everybody that I ever give lectures to is every time you have an opportunity to take risk, just take it. And every time you think you have an opportunity to do something that's a little different, like don't do stupid crap, where you risk your life for, whatever. I'm talking about, driving with your eyes closed type thing. But if you have an opportunity in life, in business to take some risk, take it.
I think
Go
that's
for it.
actually embodies like the typical American spirit. All you need now is a Stetson and some cowboy boots, and you'll be the embodiment of the American spirit.
Yeah, except I'm a city boy from Chicago, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, Tom.
it's not your typical UK mentality. I understand that.
Yes.
After being bought by a company in London, I'm very it was a little bit of a rude awakening for a Chicago entrepreneur to deal with a, let's call it a London board of directors. Yes, it was quite the culture shock.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that is the embodiment of the American spirit, isn't it? Go out there and do it, live your dream, make it happen. And I think the UK mentality is more pessimism, more trying to control, and more. I think it's maybe a relation to the climate, just grey, depressing, and you think it's always going to rain tomorrow.
No,
And usually, you're right.
I'm sick of people in the UK telling it's all about the climate. I spent a lot of time in the UK over my life. I'm way more than most people in and around London, and no, I'm not buying it.
And on that controversial note, Tom, thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you.
Thanks, Barry. Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. That was Tom Sosnoff, founder and CEO at Tasty Live, Think or Swim, and just now, Lost Dog.